You know, I thought that by now I'd be able to make some sort of original content that's not a tier list or a ranking video, but it's clear that this is not the case, and I've already gotten enough hate from the Zelda community because of my lack of knowledge, so I decided to make a video on a different game this time. Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is probably the best game I've ever played, other than Cory in the House for the Nintendo DS, so I figured I would make the game part of my channel just to have Silksong released while editing this video and making it completely irrelevant. But with that out of the way, this video is the 5 best and worst charms in Hollow Knight, because if I make a video on just the bad charms, I'll want to die. And if I make a video on just the good charms, then I'll be constantly thinking about how I have to then make a video on the bad ones. Glowing Womb costs 2 charm notches and will spawn a hatchling every 4 seconds for 8 soul, whether you want it to or not. And I can guarantee that after 30 seconds of using this charm, you will not want it to spawn those hatchlings. After taking away the soul you just bought to earn, these hatchlings will fly into a nearby enemy, blowing up and dealing 9 damage, which you could have just dealt yourself with 1 nail hit with only a level 2 nail. This charm straight up prevents you from using spells half the time because you never know if you're going to have the soul for it or if your hatchlings just used it all up. These hatchlings are also idiots. They are never going to hit the enemy you want and are instead going to go for the Vengefly sitting at the very end of the screen. Spell Twister can be found in the Soul Sanctum and will reduce the amount of soul it costs to cast a spell from 33 down to 24. Now this might not seem like a big deal, but a full soul vessel holds 99 soul, meaning Spell Twister allows you to cast 4 spells per vessel instead of 3, and that is a big deal. This charm will also only take up 2 charm slots. That's half of a Hive Blood right there, and it's like 3 times better. Spell Twister is a charm you should always be including in a spell build if you have room for it. And you will probably have room for it, because it's only 2 damn charm notches. You know, when I found Grimchild on my very first playthrough, I thought it was insane. A shield that spins around you blocking projectiles? Why wouldn't I use that? But no. I've now learned that Grimchild is very bad. First of all, this shield is very small, and because it's spinning, it will almost never be in the right place to block the attack. This charm will also cost 3 whole charm notches to use. That's 3 charm notches for a charm that will sometimes block 1 single projectile before having to recharge. This charm would be better off protecting a trash can than protecting the knight. Mark of Pride is an even longer version of Long Nail, which can be found after killing the Mantis Lords. This charm increases your nail length by 25%, which is 10% more than the Long Nail's 15. This is a worthy 3-notch investment, unlike some other options, and it should probably be included in your build whenever possible. Mark of Pride can be your savior in the White Palace, giving you a much easier timing to pogo off those saw blades. I honestly don't have anything bad to say about this charm other than it being 3 notches, so I guess that's why it's on this list. King Soul will slowly replenish your soul over time, and that might seem pretty good, right? Wrong. This charm is terrible. Yeah, it will replenish your soul, but it will be at the cost of 5 charm notches. If I'm paying 5 charm notches for a charm, then it better give me a goddamn lightsaber, not slowly give me soul. And when I say slowly, I mean slowly. This charm gives you the same amount of soul that Glowing Womb takes away. And I am not using a 5-notch charm just to make an awful 2-notch charm slightly less useless. I haven't even mentioned the fact that unless it's your first playthrough and you don't know what Void Heart is, you will have this charm for 2 minutes before you swap it for Void Heart. Unbreakable Strength. Some of the best 3 charm notches you could ever spend, because this charm is insane. Boosting your nail damage by 50%, this is one of the best upgrades to a weapon you could ever ask for, and there is genuinely no reason not to use this charm in a boss fight. The only downside to this charm is that you need to be the Elon Musk of Hollow Knight to be able to afford it. To upgrade this charm from its fragile form to the unbreakable version, you're going to have to cough up 16,000 Geo. That is a lot of Geo. However, If you're playing in Steel Soul mode, this is the best charm ever. Steel Soul completely negates the effects of a charm being fragile, and you can get the fragile version in under an hour, making early game Steel Soul a joke. Never in my life have I seen anything less accurate at shooting than the Grimchild. For the cost of 2 charm notches, you get the luxury of having a weird bat-like creature follow you wherever you go to help you kill enemies you come across. But of course, when I say help, I mean miss every single shot he takes, unless, of course, you're fighting a boss who you've just stunned and are now trying to get back those precious masks you lost, when of course, Grimchild finally hits a shot, taking the boss out of their stun and completely screwing you over. I wouldn't even use this charm if it was free, because it honestly makes boss fights even harder. Shaman Stone is the charm that makes your build a spell build, as it will greatly increase all spell damage by different amounts per spell. A 33% increase to Shade Soul, a 47% increase to Descending Dark, and a 50% increase to Abyss Shriek? And I haven't even mentioned just how easy it is to get this charm. It is just sitting there in the crossroads for only 220 Geo. I would take a 220 Geo Shaman Stone any day over a 16,000 Geo Unbreakable Strength. This charm should not be nearly as easy to get as it is. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wanted a charm that makes Hollow Knight unintentionally harder? A charm that hits those primal aspids even further away, to the perfect range where you can't hit them, but they can hit you over and over, making you lose your Steel Soul run and uninstall the game for good. Well, if you answered yes to any of those questions, then you're in luck, because you can get all these things in one charm sold from Sly for 350 Geo. Heavy Blow does everything you wouldn't want to do with the nail in this game, by increasing your knockback on enemies by 75%, making it the worst charm in all of Hollow Knight. Sly should honestly be paying me just to come and get this charm away from him because it's so bad. I want you guys to imagine something. It's your first playthrough of Hollow Knight, and you've stumbled across the Kingdom's Edge by a complete accident. You have no map and continue forward, getting constantly beamed by the worst enemy to ever exist, and at 1 health, you finally find safety in a room with a reward in the middle. This reward is Quick Slash, the best charm in Hollow Knight. Quick Slash decreases your nail's cooldown by 39%, allowing you to attack enemies way faster, and once you use it, I can guarantee you are never taking this thing off. And here we are. The 5 best and worst charms in Hollow Knight. Let me know if you want more Hollow Knight content in the future, and feel free to fight about my list placement in the comments section, which I will probably never look at after the first day of this video coming out. But other than that, subscribe and goodbye.